What if I told you that the best exercise for your heart at 70 isn't found in a fancy gym, but it might also be sitting right there on a treadmill? At 70, your heart has been beating for over 2.5 billion times. It has carried you through stress, joy, illness, and recovery. Now the question becomes simple but powerful. How do you protect it best? Should you stick to simple daily walking outdoors, or are cardio machines like treadmills and stationary bikes better for your heart? Let's break this down in a way that actually makes sense. First, we need to understand what your heart really needs at 70. As we age, arteries naturally stiffen, blood pressure tends to rise, muscle mass declines. The heart muscle itself can become less efficient if it isn't challenged regularly. But here's the good news. Your heart still responds beautifully to the right kind of movement. Walking is one of the most researched forms of exercise in older adults. Study after study shows that brisk walking for just 30 minutes a day can lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol levels, reduce inflammation, and decrease the risk of heart disease and stroke. Walking improves circulation, strengthens the heart muscle, and helps regulate blood sugar, which is critical because diabetes risk increases with age. But here's what makes walking especially powerful at 70. It's sustainable. Most seniors can walk. It's low impact. It doesn't require special equipment. It doesn't put extreme strain on joints. And consistency is what truly protects the heart, not intensity alone. When you walk daily, something subtle but important happens. Your heart rate rises moderately. Your blood vessels expand, oxygen delivery improves, and over time, your heart becomes more efficient. That means it doesn't have to work as hard at rest. Your resting heart rate can improve, your endurance increases, even your mood improves, which indirectly protects your heart because stress hormones like cortisol decrease. Now, let's talk about cardio machines. Treadmills, stationary bikes, and elliptical trainers offer something walking outside sometimes doesn't: controlled intensity. On a treadmill, you can increase incline. On a stationary bike, you can adjust resistance. This allows you to progressively challenge your cardiovascular system in a very measurable way. And progressive challenge matters. The heart is a muscle. If it's never challenged beyond comfort, it won't grow stronger. Cardio machines allow structured workouts. You can maintain a target heart rate zone, usually about 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate for moderate intensity at this age, which is often ideal for improving cardiovascular fitness safely. Another benefit? Balance safety. For some 70-year-olds, outdoor walking carries risks: uneven sidewalks, poor lighting, bad weather. A treadmill with side rails may feel safer. A recumbent bike reduces fall risk completely while still elevating heart rate. So, does that mean cardio machines are better? Not necessarily. Here's the key difference: accessibility versus optimization. Walking wins in accessibility. It's easier to maintain long-term. It feels natural. It encourages time outdoors, which has added mental health benefits. Sunlight exposure improves vitamin D levels, which plays a role in heart and immune health. Nature lowers stress, and stress reduction is one of the most underestimated heart protectors. Cardio machines win in optimization. They allow controlled progression, measurable intensity, and sometimes a stronger cardiovascular stimulus, especially if walking speed is slow. But there's a catch. At 70, recovery becomes more important than intensity. Overtraining or pushing too hard on machines can cause fatigue, joint pain, or even discourage consistency. Many seniors start enthusiastically on cardio equipment, feel sore or exhausted, and then quit altogether. And quitting is far worse than doing moderate walking consistently. Let's look at what research suggests about long-term heart outcomes. Large population studies consistently show that moderate intensity activities like brisk walking are strongly associated with lower heart disease risk and longer lifespan. You don't need extreme workouts to gain protection. In fact, overly intense exercise in older adults without proper conditioning can sometimes increase injury risk. However, combining moderate cardio machine sessions with walking can improve VO2 max, your body's ability to use oxygen. And VO2 max is one of the strongest predictors of longevity and heart health. Even small improvements at 70 can significantly reduce mortality risk. So what does that mean practically? If you walk daily at a pace where you can talk but not sing, that's moderate intensity. You are already doing something incredibly powerful for your heart. If you add short intervals of slightly higher intensity, whether by walking uphill or increasing treadmill incline, you stimulate even greater heart adaptation. The real winner isn't walking or machines, it's consistency with smart intensity. Now let's talk about joints and safety, because heart health doesn't exist in isolation. Knees and hips often develop arthritis at this age. Walking on hard pavement may aggravate joint pain. In those cases, a treadmill with cushioning or a stationary bike may actually protect mobility, which allows you to exercise more often. If joint pain prevents daily walking, then machines may be the better heart protective option, simply because they reduce pain barriers. On the other hand, if balance is good and joints feel stable, outdoor walking offers coordination and bone density benefits that machines may not fully provide. There's also something psychological we can't ignore. Walking feels freeing. It connects you to your environment. Machines can feel repetitive and boring. Enjoyment directly impacts adherence, and adherence is everything. You might be surprised to learn that the difference in heart protection between consistent brisk walking and moderate machine cardio isn't dramatic when total weekly activity time is equal. What matters more is reaching at least 150 minutes per week of moderate cardiovascular activity. That's the gold standard. But here's where machines might edge ahead slightly: interval training. Short bursts of slightly higher intensity, safely supervised, can improve heart efficiency more quickly. A treadmill incline interval or brief cycling resistance increase can stimulate cardiovascular adaptation in ways flat walking sometimes doesn't. Still, this must be done cautiously at 70. Medical clearance matters. Gradual progression matters. So if you're wondering which is better, the real answer depends on three questions. Can you walk safely outdoors without significant pain or fall risk? Do you enjoy it enough to do it most days? And can you maintain moderate intensity consistently? If the answer is yes, daily walking is not just good, it's excellent. If the answer is no, due to weather, safety, or joint pain, cardio machines may be a safer, more structured path. But we're not finished yet, because there's one more factor that often changes everything: how your heart responds individually. Some seniors experience better blood pressure improvements with steady walking. Others see stronger endurance gains with cycling or treadmill training. And that's where personalization becomes the real key, because here's something many people don't realize. At 70, your heart doesn't just need movement, it needs the right dose of movement for your body. Two people can both be 70 years old, yet their cardiovascular systems can be completely different. One may have controlled blood pressure, no joint pain, and good balance. Another may have mild arthritis, borderline diabetes, and occasional dizziness. The better exercise changes depending on these details. Let's talk about blood pressure first. Walking has been shown to reduce systolic blood pressure by an average of 4 to 9 points in older adults when done consistently. That's comparable to some medications. The steady, rhythmic nature of walking relaxes blood vessels and improves endothelial function, which is how well your arteries expand and contract. Cardio machines can do the same, sometimes even more, if intensity is slightly higher. But intensity must be managed carefully. Sudden spikes in heart rate, especially without warm-up, can cause dizziness or strain in older adults. That's why walking has an advantage. It naturally builds gradually. You start slow, your heart rate rises gently, and your body adapts smoothly. Now let's talk about endurance. If your goal is to climb stairs without getting winded, to carry groceries confidently, to travel and explore without fatigue, improving cardiovascular endurance matters. Stationary cycling, especially with controlled resistance, can improve endurance more efficiently than slow walking. Because you can adjust resistance, you challenge the heart muscle progressively. That challenge signals the heart to pump more efficiently over time. But here's the important detail. If walking is brisk enough, meaning your breathing deepens but you can still speak in short sentences, it stimulates endurance too. The problem is many seniors walk too slowly to reach that heart-strengthening zone. So the real question isn't walking versus machines, it's intensity level. A slow stroll is good for mobility and mental health. A brisk walk is good for the heart. A controlled treadmill incline or bike resistance may improve heart fitness faster, but only if done safely.
Now let's discuss balance and fall prevention, because this is where walking outdoors becomes more complex. Uneven ground challenges stabilizing muscles. That can be good for coordination, but it also increases fall risk. Falls at 70 can lead to fractures, hospitalization, and reduced independence, which indirectly harms heart health because physical activity drops dramatically after injury. Machines eliminate uneven terrain. A recumbent bike especially almost removes fall risk entirely. That's a huge advantage for those with balance concerns. But walking outdoors stimulates small stabilizing muscles and improves proprioception, your body's awareness in space. That protects long-term mobility. So again, it's not about which is universally better, it's about which is safer for you. Now here's something fascinating. Outdoor walking often lowers stress hormones more effectively than indoor exercise. Exposure to greenery, natural light, and fresh air activates calming pathways in the brain. Lower stress means lower inflammation. Lower inflammation means less strain on arteries. Machines don't provide that same mental reset unless you pair them with music, podcasts, or enjoyable surroundings. And enjoyment cannot be underestimated. If you dread going to the gym, you won't go. If you love your morning walk, you'll keep showing up. And showing up consistently is what changes your heart over months and years. Let's look at something even deeper: longevity. Research shows that improving cardiorespiratory fitness, even slightly, reduces mortality risk significantly in older adults. The greatest improvement comes when someone moves from inactive to moderately active, not from moderate to extreme. That means if you're currently inactive, daily walking alone may produce dramatic heart benefits. You don't need machines to see improvement. But if you'd been walking for years and feel plateaued, adding gentle intervals on a treadmill or bike could provide new stimulus. Here's a practical approach that blends the best of both worlds. Walk outdoors most days for 20 to 30 minutes at a brisk but comfortable pace. 2 days per week, use a treadmill incline or stationary bike resistance for short intervals, perhaps 30 seconds slightly harder, followed by 90 seconds easy, repeated several times. This combination improves endurance, protects joints, lowers stress, and keeps exercise interesting. But if choosing only one, choose the one you'll do consistently, safely, and with moderate effort. Because the truth is, the heart doesn't care whether movement comes from pavement or pedals. It cares about circulation. It cares about oxygen. It cares about rhythm and repetition. And at 70, protecting the heart is less about intensity wars and more about sustainable movement patterns. Your heart has served you for decades. It has adapted to stress, healed after strain, and kept you alive through every challenge. The best gift you can give it now isn't extreme workouts. It's steady, intelligent motion. Walking offers simplicity, mental clarity, and low injury risk. Cardio machines offer measurable intensity, structure, and joint control. Neither is magic. Both work. The winner is the one that fits your body, your environment, and your lifestyle. Because when movement becomes a habit rather than a struggle, your heart thrives.